it seems like sometimes when people reach this moment, that's where the balance becomes difficult. Being
Yeah.
like the star, plus being the athlete, and of course you being the mom as well. So, I mean, how do you maintain that balance? Where are you finding that right now?
I think I can attribute it to my husband just keeping me in check, like, hey, no, I'm just joking. I think it's just important to remember how I got here and why I got here and what I'm doing all of this for is to be a good example for my daughter so that's what I'm doing, and I'm just trying to understand that this is that being excited about this moment, but also understanding that I have to stay grounded in order to keep the momentum going.
After that last big win, I think there were a lot of people saying that you might deserve the next title shot. Were you buying into that? Did you feel like, you were right there and deserving of it?
I have to believe in myself if nobody else believes in me, and if you're not going for the gold, then why are you fighting? I have the record, I have the experience to fight Joanna, and it's just a matter of time at this point, and I just have to make sure that I stay focused in the gym, and whether it's, the next fight or the next two fights, I'm hoping to get that title shot this year.
We haven't seen it official, but it sounds like it's Jessica next. Do you think you think that's the right call?
Yeah, the fight between Jessica and Angela Hill was really surprising to me. Angela Hill has really stepped up her level of competition, and I think Invicta did her well. She went back and she went to drawing boards and came back a more aggressive fighter and really gave Andrade a run for her money. And so in some ways, I think she exposed Andrade a little bit for Joanna. I'll be looking forward to watching that fight. I'll be watching it very closely.
Michelle, so with the a year away from the sport, do you think that was in a way a good thing?
Yes.
Looking back on it?
I do. At the time, I did not. I was sad. When you can't do what you love to do, it kind of just puts a damper in your day. And for me, in my case, it was a year and a half. So we just stayed the course, and we knew that everything happened for a reason. And I was able to change my style up a lot and add some new weapons to my arsenal. And I think it was beneficial for me, and it put me in a place where I needed to be for this moment right now.
If Joanna's not next, what matchups make sense for you? I know Rose Namajunas has been asking for you, a couple other people. If Joanna's not the next person for you, what matchup does make sense for you?
I'm thinking either Rose or Karolina, because Karolina just fought, and the fight between her and Rose was a split decision. So both of those ladies, I think, would be a great jumping off point for me.
Claudia, maybe Claudia Gadelha?
Well, Claudia, she's actually been cross-training at our gym, and so to me, she's not competition right now. She's a teammate, and we're using each other to get better.
Does it feel like you're kind of going to get to have any say in this decision? Because, I mean, that doing this type of thing means you're going to have a target on your back, and a lot of the girls are going to want to fight you.
Yeah, it was strange. I've never had that before. Well, I guess I have, but just to this extent, everybody's been calling my name after I fought Paige. First it was Andrade after her opponent fell through, and then Rose tweeted me out, and then Felice this last weekend calling me out. So it's kind of nice having people call my name out, and I guess that's how you know that you're making a statement. And that's what we want, right? We want to bring some attention to the strawweight division, and hopefully that's what my fight did.
If I'm not mistaken, Michelle, you recently signed on with WME as an agent.
Mm-hmm.
How did that come about? What kind of opportunities are you working with them on as far as your future goes?
Well, that's another reason why we're here in New York. We're going to meet with the WME group that's out here. Yeah, WME. That's out here in New York, and there's lots of opportunities on the horizon. Just trying to take it one step at a time, and whatever opportunities presents itself. But going back to it, I have to understand what got me here, and it's the fighting, and I continue to train every day, even though I don't have a fight coming up. But yeah, WME. So this week's New York, and next week's LA, and I get to meet a bunch of cool people, and hopefully I'll have some more fun, exciting news for you guys after that.
Do you have interest in acting, or I mean, obviously from what I understand, they're kind of talent-wise. They're not necessarily managing you as a fighter, correct? It's just talent.
Yeah.
So, books, acting. What kind of stuff do you have interest in?
Absolutely, 100%. I have interest in all those things. I have a strong passion for teaching, and I think that's just been since I grew up in martial arts, and because I was so heavily influenced through my instructor, I think that being in the spotlight, you have a position where you can influence younger children to grow up and follow their dreams, and not only make them their dreams, but make them realistic goals. And just having a young daughter, she's 6 years old. This is the perfect time to just be leading by example. So yes, books, movies. I think that if you don't take advantage of opportunities when they present themselves, like MMA is like a very short-lived sport, and you have to expand your horizons, and you have to learn how to do it all in order to capitalize on everything that happens to you.
I feel like a lot of people try to push you ahead. Like your whole career, like people said, this girl's a star, this girl's a star. She's going. Does it feel different now at this time? Does it feel like maybe finally, like this is really the launching off point?
I don't know. It hasn't. I don't feel anything different now, and I don't know if I ever will. I don't feel any different. It's just a lot more talking and a lot more different engagements and stuff like that. But it's just something that I have to get comfortable with, and something that that comes along with the job.
How's training at Jackson Link giving you the foundation to be on this big stage? It seems like y'all big stage fighters and y'all thrive in these situations. What is it about that gym?
I think just being at the gym really does humble you, because I'm around world-class legends: John Jones, Holly Holm, Don Cerrone, Andre Arlovski. The list can go on and on. John Dodson, and these guys are under the spotlight and have millions of fans, and they're just normal people, and they come into the gym and they win and they lose their fights, and they come back into the gym and they act like they're normal. They don't keep their heads in the clouds, and watching them and how they conduct themselves has given me kind of a blueprint of how I need to act.
What's giving you the best advice so far?
I don't necessarily think it's advice as it is just watching them walk the walk. Holly to me is the best role model, because she doesn't tell me things. She leads by example, and she's never cast any type of judgment on me as a fighter or as a person. Even when I had the news of becoming a mom, and I was afraid that everybody was going to cast me out of the gym, and they actually welcomed me in with open arms, and was really supportive of me becoming a mom, and very supportive of me coming back in after I had her. And so just Holly to me is my biggest role model, because she leads by example.
I'm speaking of moms. Let's talk about Fight Mom.
Yeah.
Talk about the process. Like, why did you decide to do it? Just how did it come about?
Well, Sean Menard, the director, he's a filmmaker out of Canada, and he initially had come down just to do like a short 5-minute piece for his channel out in Canada. And when we sat down and we talked, and he got to know me and my husband and my daughter, I think he just saw that there was more opportunity to make this a feature film. So that was probably 3 years ago, and he'd been following us around for 2 years, and got a really good portion of my fight career. He got me winning the Invicta belt, he got me defending the Invicta belt, he got me losing the Invicta belt, and then he got me signing with the UFC. So you get to see the ups and you get to see the downs, and this is all real stuff that the fighters go through. But outside of the fighting, he also got to capture what it's like to be a mother and a wife inside the MMA world. And so it's very near and dear to me. Sean has become a really good friend of ours, and outside of wanting to share it with the world, I think it's something great that we'll be able to show my daughter when she's 18, 19, because she's hanging around. She's been with us. I had my first fight back when I was 10 months. I was still breastfeeding. She's been with us through all of that stuff, and so for her to be able to look back on it, I don't know if she'll necessarily remember it, but to be able to have that, that tangible piece of thing that she can look back and be like, wow, Mom, like I was there and all this stuff happens. It's cool.
It's easy. You fighters, they often share when they celebrate. But you shared a very intimate moment when you lost.
Mm-hmm.
How was it like when you rewatched that scene? You lost to Harrier. That was a very it was a very emotional scene.
Yeah. The whole film was pretty emotional for me, and I guess just seeing it from the outside perspective, I didn't realize how much I was trying to hide my feelings, because usually after a loss you're like devastated. And because I wanted to be strong for my daughter, I put on my strong face, and I took that as an opportunity to teach her about failure, because it happens, like, that's life. And I didn't realize that how quickly I made that transition from being a fighter to being a mom. And so that was like very interesting for me to see.
Michelle, your fight with Paige did really, really good numbers ratings-wise. I'm sure you heard Dana talking about the success of women's fighters in the UFC. I'm kind of curious your thoughts on the UFC opening up more weight classes, because we have 145 debut this weekend. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are advocating for 125, and you were the 105-pound champion in Invictus. I mean, do you think it'd be wise for the UFC to explore that? And we've seen the success of Invicta.
Oh, 100%. I think it's inevitable for them to open up more weight classes, especially the 125. There's a lot of girls in the 135 division that should be fighting 125, and there's a lot of girls in the 115 division that could benefit from fighting at 125 and not depleting themselves. Girls have a different way of cutting weight than guys do. Our bodies are different. We hold on to water differently. And so opening up that division, I think, will allow for more girls to come in and for more girls to be able to flourish in their natural weight class.
Is that new on your arm?
Yes.
Can you talk about that? What is that?
Well, it's my husband and I, and it's kind of like symbolic of just a moment in time when we first fell in love, and we always talked about getting tattoos, and so we've been together it'll be almost 9 years in July, and we always talked about it. His birthday was coming up, and instead of taking him to the movies, I took him to the tattoo shop, and I made him get it first to see if it looked good. and then I got it. And yeah, we've been through a lot, and this is just the beginning, so.
Michelle, following the Fight Mom premiere, have other female fighters reached out to you in terms of advice on how to balance pending motherhood with a fight career?
What's like very heartwarming is not so much female fighters, but more so just families, men, fathers, mothers that have reached out to me and sent me messages and have told me how much the film had touched them, even though they were never interested in MMA, but that they saw me going for this dream that was like so high up in the clouds, and how I used my family as a support system, and how motivating that was for them to see that there are still people with families going after their dreams and going after the things that they want in life.